All right. Did you take a look at that, Skip?
Yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about today?
The Housemaid.
You don't seem very static about it. Real quick, my name's Vincent Laspada, aka Venomous Vincent, alongside that's Patriot Skip. He's wearing his Patriots hat. He's very excited. Tomorrow, his New England Patriots will be back in the Super Bowl after 3 years?
No, last Super Bowl we were in is 2018.
Oh, that's right. That's right. All right, so it's been a little while. He'll be taking on the Seahawks, and which should be a banger of a matchup.
Rematch.
But,
it's a rematch.
It's a rematch. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, February 6th, 2026. Today we're going to be talking about The Housemaid. Right off the bat, there are some problems with this movie. But for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I know Skip probably will say other. I'm very surprised because Skip likes everything.
Well, the fact of the matter is, this movie is predictable. I know you don't think it was predictable, but to me it was predictable. I saw this coming about halfway through the movie. I kind of had a feeling.
When I hang out with Skip, I feel like Skip's like a mind reader. Like he's some kind of like, what do you call them? Fortune tellers. Like he says he can see. He said he can predict and believe everything that he sees ahead of time, and it really shocks me. It really does. But we're going to be talking about The Housemaid. This was a well, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I've seen some of these actors in this movie before. I have. Sydney Sweeney, Sydney Sweeney, who plays Millie. You got Amanda Seyfried, who plays Nina. And then this guy you were talking about yesterday to me,
Brandon Sklenar. What a good year he's had.
Basically, we'll start the premise of the movie. The premise is about this rich family that lives in the suburbs that is looking for a house live-in maid to take care of the duties that they don't want to do. And along the way, the live-in housemaid comes to find out that the woman of the house is a little psycho. And I feel like the husband kind of puts up with what's going on. There's a lot of twists and turns in this that I didn't see coming. I know Skip saw them coming, but I didn't see them coming. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the main character, Millie, played by Sydney Sweeney. She's this young, innocent girl that's barely making it by. She lives in her car. She's going from job to job, and she came to this house for an interview. Which was really weird because not a lot of people give a tour of a house if they're not going to give the job. Like that's like me giving you a tour of the kitchen, not knowing that you're going to be, part of my staff. So I thought that was kind of weird right off the bat. I thought she was getting the job, but she wasn't. And we see that later down the line because I would say a good, 5-10 minutes goes by in the movie. And we don't know if she got the job. She's living in her car. She's trying to find parking lots to stay in. We see her changing and getting ready and kind of doing like the whole bathing in a sink, per se. And, but she realizes very, very quick that the lady in this house, is off her marbles and has completely dived off the deep end. Which leads me to you, Skip. Let's talk about the other main character, Nina.
Yeah, well, Amanda Seyfried is the wife of a relatively rich husband who has a good job and so forth, and they have a beautiful house. They have a house. They have a guy that takes care of their grounds. They now are hiring for a housemaid to take care of their child, and the child. I don't know about that kid, but it's a lot of work for her. So she decides, I'm going to bring this girl in to try to help out. But there's something going on with this husband and wife, specifically Amanda Seyfried. You could see she's got issues. She's got issues, and she takes a lot of her problems out on the new housemaid, played by Sydney Sweeney. But there's something about this family, as I mentioned. I don't want to get into the spoilers in case you didn't see this movie. But the husband's not all he seems to be. And they try to turn it upside down. Like, you hate the wife because she's a little wacky. But there's a reason why she's wacky, without spoiling the movie. So it's based on a worldwide best-selling book. And these types of books, they want to draw in people by the twists and the turns and stuff. But if you've seen enough movies like I have, you've seen enough twists and turns to see these twists and turns coming.
Let's talk about the other main character. His character's name's Andrew, played by Brandon Sklenar. He, like you said, he's a rich tech mogul that I feel like doesn't really have much time for his family, because realistically, you only see him. I feel like you only see him at night, really, when he has to pick up his daughter from recital or things like that. Like during the day, you don't really see him too much. But he plays this. I feel like I honestly, like, I love how you go through the whole movie and then the backstory of how Nina and Andrew meet. Then you scratch your head like, oh, now I understand what's going on. But when you first start watching the movie, you're like, man, like, she looks nice and pleasant, and she's being really nice, and then bam, the next scene, I mean, she's you would have thought she was like this the whole movie. Like it was something else, man. I mean, she picked up and ran with this craziness. And I feel like all through the movie, Brandon Sklenar, I feel like he's dealing with it.
Yeah, he's dealing with it. But let's be honest with you. The filmmaker in the script is trying to picture him as a good guy, a nice guy, and her as the psycho wacky wife. And there's a major twist in the movie. And once we get to that twist, we find things aren't exactly the way you think they are. You know what I mean? And that's the whole where people, this is such a good movie and this is such a good book, and they really capture the book in the movie and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, they wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't a twist. This movie wouldn't work because we've seen it 1,000 times. The wacky wife, she's abused by the husband or whatever, the whole 9 yards, or she's just kooky and they're bringing the girl in there because they have some fetishes or something like that, or they're going to kill the housemaid or something. All these various types of twists we've seen over the years. It's like, it's hard to do something original. So when you've done the same things over and over and over again over the years, it's like, what else can you do? Okay, let's make the husband the twist. He's not as exactly nice as he comes across, and it's actually the wife that's the nice person, the husband the bad person. I mean, come on.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna find this book. I have it. I read it when I was in college and film school, and it pretty much talks about all like it categorizes what movies are and what the synopsis is. And I forget how many there were, like 5 or 6, that how they capture what the movie's about and what it's going to be portrayed as. But it's very interesting because it talks about like all the big movies like Jurassic Park, Blues Brothers, Indiana Jones, and the way that these movies are made, there's a certain element that this book talks about. And I just think it's interesting because I never thought about it this way until I read this book. Next week when we do an episode, I will have the title and I will share what the book is. I know where it's at. It's probably in my storage unit. The book is, but it was a fantastic book. And I was like, wow, this is, it just makes sense. So
the thing too, Ben, is this. There's 500-600 movies a year coming out. All right. They've been making movies for almost 100 years. There's not a whole lot of original ideas left. You know what I mean?
Well, that's where I feel like that's where I think you're kind of wrong on. And I'm going to tell you why, because if they would stop making the same BS bullshit over and over and over again, like another Spider-Man or another Batman or another Star Wars or this or that, dude, I'm telling you, I guarantee you there's probably 10 Hollywood directors that probably have a desk full of scripts that people send him. And I guarantee you there's several good ideas that have not been made. But the problem is these companies like Paramount and Netflix and Universal and Warner
Disney,
Brothers
and Disney.
all they want are the same ideas. They don't want to take the chance. This isn't the 80s anymore where, you listen to Bob Gale from Back to the Future, and he said that it took him about 12 times to sell this script, and finally he sold it to Universal. Like, it's not like that anymore. These companies aren't taking chances. Like, they're doing scripts that they know they've made money on, and that's what and that's how they're selling movies. I think that's very sad that they're not giving chances. I think that there's a lot of talented writers in Hollywood, and all over the world that should have a chance. But then again, we go back to this. They go back to the well. They keep putting their bucket into the well, and the water comes up, and then they throw it into the pool, and they take their bucket and go back down to the well and pick the water up. And it's sad. It's sad how it's sad, and it's sad for us as humans and of watching, because we get stuck in the same shit. Like you were saying yesterday, oh, I'm watching Lincoln Lawyer season 4. Well, here's my question to you. Why do we have to have a show called The Lincoln Lawyer if we had a movie called The Lincoln Lawyer? I'm going to answer your question right off the bat. You don't even got to tell me. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're going to tell me, well, there's so many twists and turns, there's so many characters, there's so many elements in this movie. They can go down different routes. What will Jilly do? What will Johnny do? What will this guy and that guy? I get it. I totally understand it. But again, that's where we're doing the same shit. Go ahead, Skip.
Well, my thing is this. There's 15, 20 Lincoln Lawyer books. So if you do a TV show and each season is one of the books, guess what? You got greenlit the 5th season already of the Lincoln Lawyer. So
why is there so many books?
5, because the writer writes the books and he puts them out and people want to read the books. And that's the thing about the Housemaid. All right. I will give this movie that much credit. All summer long, it was reboots, rehash, reimaginings, every sequels, all summer long into the fall. There was rarely a whole original movie, maybe Weapons, One Battle After Another, Sinners, a few things, right? Hamnet, Sentimental. And so I will give The Housemaid, it's a book that hasn't been turned into a movie. It's not a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a reimagining. You know what I mean? It's not a prequel. It's a new first time this book was turned into a movie. But the problem is, even sometimes in books that haven't been made into movies, this one finally has. The books have twists that are kind of like, okay, I've seen these twists coming. You know, I've seen these twists before. But so it's better off to turn a series of books into a TV show, because then you can take one book, make it a season, another book, make it a season. That's why they're taking the Harry Potter franchise and making it a series of a TV show. Each season is a book. And I think this works way better. It worked with Harry Bosch. It's working right now with Alex Cross. And that's why Amazon, if you look at Amazon, a lot of their stuff, they're scooping up book series left and right and turning them into TV shows, because you have all the information right there in the book. And that's why Game of Thrones was successful. You know what I mean? Because, well, at least the first 6 seasons until the 7th season, when they didn't have a book to go off of, you could see how bad that went for Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
Do you think there's way more story to tell with Harry Potter?
Yeah, I always thought that there was subplots in the books that they never got to do in the movies, because they would be 4-hour movies if you did all the subplots in the books in the movies. But now with the show, you can do those subplots.
And this is Warner Brothers doing the show?
Yeah. Yep. It'll be on HBO Max. It's going to be out next year. Early next year, the first season, which will be the Sorcerer's Stone, or in Britain, it's the Philosopher's Stone. And so
they're going back to the books, back to the titles. Each season has the title.
Yep. Each season will be one of the books, and it will be, and that's how it will be. And I think if this is successful, Warner Brothers will figure a way to do another series of movies. Or the problem is, and this is an issue with all IP, is if the person who created it is a troublemaker or canceled or some controversial figure. In the case of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling has become a controversial figure. So it's kind of like, yeah, Warner Brothers has the rights to this stuff, but they want to distance themselves from her because she has come out and said some stuff about the LGBT community and certain types of people out there. George R.R. Martin isn't necessarily the nicest guy, but Warner Brothers gets the right to all the Game of Thrones stuff. So they keep cranking out prequels and side stories and all kinds of stories because they want to make money. They want to put stuff on their platforms. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, Skip, not to cut you off. I know, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but Scream 7 premiere weekend, tickets go on sale to the general public on Monday the 9th at 12 p.m. for the Q&A with Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, that's at the Sun City Theater over there in Tampa, I guess. I didn't even know that. I didn't even hear about the theater before until I heard about this screening of the movie.
Sunray Cinemas, yeah. And they just added Swerve Strickland to the lineup as well. Yeah, well, it's called Scaredy's. It's a convention at the Central Florida Fair, the Tampa Central Florida Fairgrounds, technically, and it's in Tampa. And they have this convention called Scaredy's, but mainly they're focusing on the Scream franchise. They'll bring a bunch of the movies from Scream 7, characters from Scream 7. They're doing a whole Q&A and thing, a limited edition poster for Scream 4, because they get about 4 or 5 or 6 of the people from Scream 4 that's going to be there. They're really going all out with Scream, and it's going to come out around the same time as the movie. So if you want to go see some of these people from Scream 7 and go to the Q&A, or go to the movie with Matthew Lillard with the Q&A and go there and get their on, this is a great opportunity for Scream fans. That's another movie that I thought just went way too far. Like, they should have stopped at 2. Scream. The idea is dead. Like it's dead.
4. I did like 4 though.
Like, just the idea of what's happening, and it's like watching Fast and Furious. Like, that idea was dead after 3. They should have stopped.
I think
it wasn't about, but it
5,
wasn't
6, and
about
7 were good. 5, 6, and 7 were good. It's 8, 9, 10, and 11 that weren't that great.
But what I'm trying to say is they might be good, but what I'm saying to you is the premise of the movie, they stopped with the main premise, which was fast cars and drifting. That's what Fast and Furious was.
Yeah.
It turned into a movie about cops and robbers is what it turned into. And that's sad because, why not stick to what it's about? The film is about the film is about fast cars and drifting. Just like this Scream. What are we doing here, folks? What's going on with what we're talking about? Like it's a guy in a mask going around killing anybody, okay? It's like, where else can you go with this?
How many times can you have a guy in a mask seeking revenge on Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox characters from previous films, or like have some new motivation why they should go get in the mask and go stalk these people and try to kill these people? And, if you've seen the trailer, certain people aren't even in the trailer, but they're in the movie. You know what I mean? Like Matthew Lillard, like Hayden Panettiere. So where's the story going to go? Where's the originality going to come from when you're talking about the 7th movie in a franchise? And
I'm sorry,
this is got controversy, Vin. This is got
these guys die in the first one. I could have sworn one of these guys died, didn't they?
Yeah.
So how are they coming back? Are they coming back as a ghost, or are they playing another character? Like, I'm very confused how I love how this is what I love about movies. I love when movies kill a character off and then they go, oh, you know what? We didn't mean to do that. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to remake the movie, but we're going to see it in the eye of somebody else and the way they grow up. It's like, oh, come on. Come the fuck on. Are you going to sit here and tell me that this whole time you didn't think about this before you did it?
Did Stewie have kids? That's what I want to know. Because his kids would be old enough to where they could be the killer now. That's all I could think of is some of these characters that were back in the 90s in this franchise. Did they grow up and now they're adults and they're coming after Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell? I don't know what else is that. Speaking of Nev Campbell, she's in The Leaking Lawyer, She plays one of Mickey Haller's ex-wives.
I think we should just. I mean, listen. I know it's not my opinion. I know I'm just a onlooker, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to wish that they did not keep going with this franchise, because obviously there's nothing else that we can talk about. It's really just how many people can get killed in this film. And then on even on, like I was just saying about Fast and Furious. What are we doing, folks? I mean, the main
one more and then that's it. I believe. I think
one more. So we really need Fast 11, right?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Universal wants franchises. They're desperately trying to find.
They're desperate. Period.
They are, because Wicked for Good didn't do as good. It made a lot of money, but it didn't do a lot of awards.
The marketing was horrible for Wicked for Good.
Well, I knew it was going to be.
I just don't understand how you have such a great film and it's such loved by the community and you don't do marketing for it. Like I would love to know who dropped the ball on Wicked for Good.
Because it's dark. It's the second half of that play.
I'm white.
Dark.
What's the deal? What's the difference? I'm white. He's black. You're Mexican.
It's a dark story. It's a dark story. So it was hard to market a dark story.
Oh, hold on. Let me stop you there. What about 50 Shades of Grey? Was that not dark?
Yeah, but I mean,
okay.
That was another thing.
That marketing did so well, and those books did so well that movie sold itself. Sex sold that.
Yeah. Sex.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah, and Twilight and all. I mean, all of it. But no, I mean, Universal's they're desperate looking for new franchises because Jurassic World wasn't that good this summer. It wasn't great.
They're beating that into the fucking ground.
They did get an Oscar for visual effects, and now you're complaining about Fast and the Furious. So they're trying to find other mediums to try to scoop up and buy or whatever, so they can have more movies out in theaters, because right now they're in trouble. They were lucky that Christopher Nolan had a problem with Warner Brothers, and they were able to scoop him up, because his movie is going to make billions of dollars when he makes a new movie every 2 years. Oppenheimer. Now he's got Odyssey coming out in July. I think that's what they really need to do, is get acclaimed filmmakers to make movies, and then they know that people are going to go see the movies because these guys, the name sells.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things that Christopher Nolan can make. I mean, whatever he makes is just gold. Like, I don't know why it's gold, but he doesn't miss. Like, he just has. But his movies are so complex. Like, they're not easy. They're not always easy to follow. Like, they're like a oh God, what's that writer that does all those? Stephen King. It's like a Stephen King novel. Like, Stephen King novels are like thousands of pages. Christopher Nolan's scripts are like 3-hour movies. And you really have to pay attention. Like, you can't.
Stephen King had a good year this year.
Huh?
Stephen King had a good year last year. A couple of his short stories got turned into pretty good movies, and then he had It Welcome to Derry, that was very successful. So he had a good year.
Again, another movie that we're turning into a TV show because we can't let it go. I guarantee we're going to make a Stranger Things movie. Guaranteed.
Movie?
Yeah. Oh God, there's so much more. There's so many more elements to that show, and they ruined the show at the end. Like, they ruin what the action. Again, they do this all the time. They ruin what the element of the show was. The show was about kids that live in the 80s. That's what this show was about. And then all of a sudden it came into this fucking dark demon fucking hunter, and they're all fighting these monsters. Like, where the fuck did this come from? So left field.
Well, they had to build it towards something, Vin.
I know,
what
but
are they going to build it towards?
What do you mean? You can show these kids growing up in Hawkins and just they all go down different alleys, and there's so much more you could have. I mean, like, and I feel like they took the focus off Millie Bobby Brown. Like, like she was the main character for 2 or 3 seasons, and after that, they kind of just took the focus off of her and went more towards the kids. And really the main star of the fucking show is the monster, the demon, the demigod. He's the main fucking star. Why doesn't he win some fucking Oscars or some Golden Globes? That motherfucker should take him home.
I don't know about that. She had a great season finale, Millie Bobby Brown did. I loved what she did in the last season. I thought she had a great ending. Her character had a great ending, and where her character goes, we'll never know, because there's this speculation of what could possibly come on spinoffs and stuff like that. We know that the one character, what's her name, Natalie Dyer's character, is got a spinoff. She goes off to work at a big paper in a big city, I think Boston or somewhere. So she's gonna be doing she's gonna be like a reporter in a big city somewhere, and she's gonna get into all kinds of stuff. So
there you go.
I think
another spinoff right there.
Yeah. Well, and they got an animated show between seasons 1 and 2. I believe.
Of course they do.
Oh God, either an animated show between season 2 and 3, or 1 and 2. I can't remember what the animated. It's Stranger Things 1985.
I know they can't let it die. I know they can't. They can't let that thing die. Pretty soon they're going to be making underwear, socks.
But think about this, okay? I want to tell you something, okay? And I know you don't got a lot of time, but think about, okay? So you have Star Wars, right? Okay, and I know you're not a big Star Wars fan.
Oh God, they don't let that motherfucker go either.
Well, hold on a second. And you have Star Trek, okay? So you have Star Trek for the 60s, and then you have Star Trek Next Generation, and you have Star Wars, you have the prequels, and then you have the last. But people like it so much, Vin, that they wrote books about it. They wrote comic books. They wrote novels and stuff. People, when they fall in love with something, they want to write their own quote unquote fan fiction. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens with a great IP like Stranger Things, Star Wars, Star Trek, or whatever. You get people that are inspired by it, and then they come up with their own stuff. So, I want to spin off this character into her own show. Or I'm an animator, but I love Stranger Things, so I'd like to do my own animated show between season 2 and 3 or something like that. And so if I'm Netflix, I'm taking ideas from people. If they got a good one, sure, let's run with it. You know what I mean? Game of Thrones is the same way. The show was so successful, people came to the Warner Brothers and those guys and said, hey, I got an idea for this, or I got an idea for that. And they said, if it's a good idea, let's run with it. If it's not, they shelve it. And they've shelved it. Game of Thrones things, Warner Brothers have things that didn't work right. So, I mean, I like the idea of people being inspired by something and coming up with a new idea revolving around a great IP like that. Like Creed, for instance. Did we ever think the son of Apollo Creed was going to get turned into his own series of movies?
No, I didn't.
He's so successful? No, we didn't, but it turned into something good. You know what I'm saying? There's a rumor that we're going to get a Drago movie set between Rocky 2 and 3, or Creed 2 and 3. And then same thing with John Wick. You're going to get the blind guy. His character is going to have a spinoff. We've already seen the ballerina, because people like John Wick universe. So now they're going to spin off the John Wick universe in different directions. It's people being inspired as well as trying to get money.
Right. So,
well,
as much as I would love to sit here all night and talk about spin-offs and reboots and Twilights and monsters and Harry Potter, I have to get ready for another show. But thank you for joining me this morning, Skip. It's going to be a glorious day. And tomorrow, like I said, Super Bowl. Did you get your clam chowder this morning?
Yes, I did. This
guy and his clam chowder.
New England clam chowder, not New York clam chowder.
What makes a difference?
Sauce. The sauce. Nobody wants spaghetti sauce in their clam chowder.
Who the fuck puts spaghetti sauce in clam chowder?
That's what New York clam chowder is.
Well, they're a bunch of weirdos up there.
It's
anyways.
A soup. It's like a marinara soup type of thing, and it's no.
But they put tomato sauce on their peanut butter and jelly too if they had.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's get out of here. Thank you for joining me, Skip. I'm Venomous Vincent alongside Skip Dan Allen. Skip, where can they find you at?
You find me at FromTheFourthRow.com, where I am the owner, editor-in-chief, and head film critic of FromTheFourthRow.com. There's all kinds of stuff on there. I got the Lincoln Lawyer review. I got Pillion review. I got more reviews coming. I got Oscar Shorts capsule reviews coming. I got my awards stuff going on. I got 4 writers, and they're all working hard to put material on the site. Also, you can find me at a bunch of different places on the internet. Dan Skip Allen on Twitter, X, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, all over the
Your mom's basement.
My mom's basement. Yeah. So my name, Dan Skip Allen, all over the place on social media.
You can always find me every Friday night as I talk about SmackDown Showdown, every SmackDown episode. So if you did not catch last night's episode, go back and watch me and the Mad Dog talk about and review SmackDown. It's called SmackDown Showdown. And then lately you've been catching me on AEW. I've been doing a fill-in because the sheriff's been gone on Wednesday nights. Don't know if I'm going to be back on next week, but I've done it 2 weeks in a row now. So you might be able to check me on Wednesday night on AEW All Elite Heat podcast. But until next week, guys, I am your host, Vincent LaSpada. That is the man, Dan Skip Allen. And I think we're going to catch you next time, right, Skip?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm heading off to a movie right now called The Goat.
All right. So I'm going to end the show off. We're doing a cruise. We're doing a wrestling cruise in April. Make sure you guys can join us. If not, find out more information about it with this clip. See you, everybody.